Hey, what's up guys and gals? It's the Tyrant here and welcome back to Tyrant's Halo 5 Guardians Legendary Walkthrough. And I know exactly what you're thinking. My walkthrough schedule at this point is like The Walking Dead, and that's not true because they post their episodes far more often than I do. So we are back here with Unconfirmed. This is the mission that takes place after Meridian Station. And this is another Promethean heavy mission. In fact, there are 3 Promethean combat missions in a row here. Get used to it because there's quite a few Promethean missions in this game, or at least missions with Prometheans in them. So to get started here, I'm going to go ahead and get one of my allies on the chain gun turret. It's extremely effective. Now you're probably thinking, Tyrant, you could skip this, and I've seen it done in other videos. One of the reasons it's taken me so long to do this one in particular, I do consider it to be one of my top 25 hardest Halo missions of all time, believe it or not. If you haven't checked out that video yet, I'll post a link in the description below. But essentially there's a lot of randomness that's involved here. Basically, you have to treat the Promethean-based missions as you would Flood-based missions because there's a lot of randomness. The Prometheans can spawn just about anywhere, waves and waves at a time. They can spawn behind you, and of course, you don't want, a Promethean behind you. Bad things could happen. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm going to go ahead and just take them out. You don't want to advance too far because if you do that, you'll spawn in additional waves of Prometheans. They seem to be triggered by 2 things. 1, by you actually destroying certain numbers of them, and 2, if you advance too far. Now again, as I've said before, the reason, even though I've seen people actually rush this area, it's not reliable. It's very difficult to pull that off every time, and you're going to leave your allies behind. Now, of course, they'll eventually catch up to you anyway, but it's always nice to have them with you as much as you can. Obviously, in case you get a cheap death, you can easily have one of them resurrect you, unless, of course, you get hit by something like the beam rifle or the incineration cannon and just get vaporized, in which case you're out of luck on that one. So I found it much more consistent to just be able to sit back and take these guys out. As far as rushing is concerned, I've seen people run up the side and even manage to grab hold of the pelican that rushes by, or a prowler, or whatever it is, and land up top. Not really sure what the difference between a pelican and a prowler is. Maybe I should look that up. But essentially, yes, it's possible, but it is very, very time sensitive. So I like to sort of hang back here and just take them out. You don't have to worry about Prometheans spawning in behind you at this particular location. So you start out here with a battle rifle and a pistol. As you can see, I swapped out my pistol early on for a suppressor. Suppressors in this game are extremely effective against the Prometheans, more specifically just the crawlers and the soldiers. Even captains are surprisingly susceptible to the power of the suppressors. So I'm picking up the light rifle here. As you can see, there's a DMR just to my left. We're going to save that for later. More specifically, the next battle, so I'm going to use the light rifle right now. Light rifle is extremely effective against Prometheans. I wish we could have more of these in the game. Unfortunately, the only way you can get a light rifle most of the time, not all the time, but most of it, is by killing soldiers with the same weapon. So I'm going to send those guys up there. Now, one thing that's important, and I've stressed this throughout my walkthrough, it probably is hard to remember at this point because I haven't posted one of these, I think, since either September or October. I can't remember. Treat this almost like you would Ghost Recon. Obviously, you can't control your troops quite as accurately here, but you can use them to your advantage. Just remember, if you highlight an enemy, you can get them to shoot at them while you're in cover recovering your shields so that you're never worrying about losing fire or anything like that. Also, it helps keep the distraction off, or helps keep their attention off of you, and allows your teammates to be a nice distraction in the process. So as you can see, Tanaka is resurrecting Vale, or unlocking her armor, or whatever you want to call it. So we're just going to kind of come over here. Now that the waves are done, we're going to drop our light rifle for a DMR. And you want to proceed to this next area with a battle rifle and a DMR intentionally because there's lots of ammo for both of these weapons up there. What is that? The Forerunner turret. I'm not sure what it's called. It works well in lesser difficulties, but on Legendary, it's really not that useful. At least not over here. So up here, you're going to have 2 knights. You're going to have several soldiers as well. Now, the knights will spawn watchers. If you're quick enough, you can actually catch the knight off guard while he's spawning the Watcher, and eliminate the knight quickly like that. So we obviously didn't do that this time. What we're going to go ahead and do is take out the Watchers first. You can highlight them for your teammates and let them focus. So right now, we're going to aim for these little vents on the knight. And what's going to happen is, once we take out one of those vents, he's going to open up his mask for a second and give us a small window to actually deal with him. So if you're wondering why I'm reloading so quick this time, it's rather than waiting, it's for this reason right there. There we go. Easy kill. What I've found, I don't know if it's just coincidence or what, but I've noticed a lot of times when I manage to knock off one of those vents, it happens to be right as I run out of ammo. So while I'm reloading, the mask opens up and I miss my opportunity. So when you're dealing with the knight, it's really not a bad idea to reload as often as possible. I know that there are some viewers out there who don't like it when I do that. They're like, no, it's a waste of ammo. I'm like, no, you have the same amount of ammo regardless of how many times you reload. You're just being safer. So, you know, I do apologize for those who don't like it when I do that, but this is a more tactical way for me to be dealing with these missions, especially when you're talking about Prometheans, and more specifically Promethean Knights. So we have one more knight over here. We're going to go ahead and use the battle rifle here. The battle rifle is very useful in this game. And we've got the vent. We'll see if we can get the mask. Almost got blocked right there. Alright, so we're good. So the two knights are down. They're the hardest part here. You really don't have to deal with knights too much in this mission, fortunately. But unlike the last mission, we don't get any vehicles either. So there's no tank to help you out. You're doing this completely on foot. So this is our spot up here where we can get more ammo for both the battle rifle and the DMR. There's more DMR ammo closer to the Prowler. Oh, I see the difference now. I'm such an idiot. I never actually took a step back to look at the whole thing. Yep, that's powers of observation are strong with this one. So we're going to go ahead and deal with these guys real quick. Just take it slow and steady. You really cannot proceed here until every enemy is done for. So it's what I call a stop point. For those who are not familiar with this term, I've been using it throughout Halo 5 because there's quite a few of them. And essentially a stop point is where you are bottled up in an area and you cannot proceed until you destroy all the enemies or several waves of enemies. This is not a good feature for speedrunners, unfortunately. So, let's see. And anything else that I want to... There's a rocket launcher around here somewhere. I was going to get one of my allies to pick it up. Can't seem to find it. I always seem to come across it by accident. I'm sure it's somewhere if I really took the time to look for it. But you don't really need the rocket launcher. It's got limited number of rounds. Really, you're better off going into the next area with, again, the battle rifle and the DMR. Just two very universally good weapons, especially when dealing with the Prometheans, because remember, the Prometheans do not have shields unless you're talking about the Watchers. So pinpoint weapons like the battle rifle or the DMR work perfectly. I'm terrible with the sniper rifle. You guys know that my aim is generally pretty bad. I only have really one real functioning hand, so I would prefer to have a wider spread weapon like the DMR or the battle rifle, just because it's or one with a larger reticle, just because it's easier for me to hit something.
I'm asking politely for access to your facility.
So, are you gonna take it? Okay, good. Trying to load them up with some decent weapons here. So hopefully at this point, one of them picked up that sniper rifle, and there's another sniper rifle at the door. But you want to stop here for a second, slow down. There are binary rifle or sniper soldiers right here. So you do want to sort of take your time. They use binary rifles. Binary rifles are a bit different in this game. So essentially the way they work is instead of having just one quick little pew pew like the beam rifle does, essentially the way this works is it has one continuous beam. It seems to be a little bit more effective that way, especially against wardens. But personally, I just like the overall design better than what I saw in Halo 4. It makes it a little bit more unique, and particularly when you're dealing with snipers, it's easier to spot them. Now, when you're looking at their light right there, the more it intensifies, the more it's ready to be fired. so you kind of can get a feel for the exact time frame in which they're going to pull the trigger. Sniper soldiers are also much easier to kill. They don't seem to have any helmet armor at all, so you can easily one-shot them. So we're going to deal with the crawlers right here. Once you're done with these guys and you advance a little bit, you will get a couple of more sniper soldiers that will spawn. Now, I've noticed that if you run up to them real quick, they'll switch to a different weapon, so they're not going to use their binary rifles anymore. That does make them easier to kill. So we're going to run back here real quick, grab some more ammo. Just going to run up here. Fortunately, backtracking is not that big of an issue in this mission because it is relatively short, even though it is kind of challenging. The challenge here primarily comes from just the sheer number of Prometheans and the number of waves that you'll be dealing with. And it does get tiring after a while. It feels like a very long slog of just constant orange. Kind of like the 2016 election. So here we have our reinforcements right here. We're going to go ahead and deal with these guys real quick. Not much effort involved there. That's why I like the sniper guys, because they're easy to avoid. You know, as long as you know where they are, you can pretty much deal with them without any real issue. So this next bit right here is where things get a little bit tricky. So now we're going down to the mines of Meridian. A little alliteration there. And so you have several waves that will spawn. Now, I've seen a lot of people do this differently. I looked at some speed runs. And what I've noticed is that some people will try running along the side, and I'm not really sure if that's really the best way to go here. I've tried that. So over there on the left, you've got pipes that essentially go all the way around this area. And if you're good and you're quick, you can actually climb up on the fence, and you can run past that knight as he's spawning and get to the checkpoint right before the battle with the Warden. I've tried that many times. I'm not going to say it doesn't work because I've gotten it to work, but it just seems like a 1 out of 10 chance. Generally speaking, I either get killed by the knight or the captains when I'm trying to make that final rush. So I found a different way that seems to work with me every time. Now, you know, one of my signature features when I do my walkthroughs is I like to make things repeatable. So these aren't speed runs. You know, these aren't things that are going to get you on the leaderboards in that department. These are designed in a way that you can repeat it over and over again. So, you know, you can watch this and you can try it for yourself, and hopefully it'll get you through in one piece. So we're going to go ahead and deal with this initial wave of Prometheans right here, but that's it. So aside from those snipers, you'll have a few other regular soldiers here, I believe a couple of captains, and also a lot of crawlers. Now, once you're done here, you don't have to worry too much about getting more ammo, just simply because we're going to be changing up our weapons later. So we're going to get these guys back online. Now, here's what I've been doing. So from here on out, what you want to do, and let's see, we're going to run up here real quick. Binary rifle is a nice little side weapon to have, extremely effective against the soldier captains. So we could be using that a little bit later. More specifically against the captains that are guarding the exit right before the night spawns. So we're going to jump up here. There's a little passageway down beneath the platform. So we're going to be traversing down here. I'm trying to get my allies to come down here too. Don't know if it's going to work or not. They don't always listen. Sometimes I think they're channeling Cat from Halo Reach. So we're going to try to get them down here. There we go. I'm trying to get them to where I'm going. So essentially you're going to run all the way through here, and several waves of Prometheans are going to spawn since we are just running past all these platforms. You're going to want to jump up here and clamber real quick, run up this ramp, and immediately to the right. So this little hiding place right here is pretty much the only place you can go where you're not going to get surrounded by Prometheans on all sides. And you're at the end of the platform, which is even better. So you can sort of fight any waves that did spawn and are going to attack you while your allies are back there trying to distract them. So you want to stay ducked down because remember there are captains on the platform above you. And as long as you say duck down, they shouldn't be able to see you. So what's going to happen is you're going to get some soldiers and some crawlers are going to make their way over here. When they do, I highly recommend you take a suppressor with you. Now, you may not need to. I've noticed that it does. There are different degrees of how much they'll attack you. If you do this just right, then you don't have to worry about too many waves, but generally speaking, you are going to get some combat right here. It's not that big of a deal. As long as you get their weapons, you can just take them out easily. They're not going to overwhelm you in this location. So this is the easiest way to do it. And basically what you want to do here is keep fighting until no more waves are approaching you. That means the top platform right there is going to be a lot easier to deal with. So we got a soldier right here. They are such a pain in the ass, their little warping thing. I really wish they would patch that. So we're going to go ahead and see if we have the all clear here. Oh, we got one more. So I'm going to wait for this guy. They do talk a lot. Let's see. All right, here we go. That should be the last of them, I believe. I don't hear any more. Allies are dead. Do not worry. If you give them a little bit of time, they will respawn, because Spartans never die. They just respawn in 5 seconds. So this is where we're going to whip out the binary rifle. And we're going to deal with the captains over here. So as you can see, they're very susceptible. Binary rifle, usually 1 to 2 hits does the job. I think it also depends on the rank. And we should have plenty of ammo. So total, you should have 10. If you picked up the binary rifle from earlier, there were 2 binary rifles. Combined, you should have a full binary rifle. And so there's our knight right there. Now you do want to take this guy out. It is entirely possible to run past him, but he has an incineration cannon, and we're going to need that for the next battle. Oh! I walked right into that one. Help! This is why we have our teammates. So again, we just want to go ahead and deal with this guy. This guy is in a mood right now. Alright, so he should be pretty easy from here. It looks like that's a knight commander. I'm not really sure what the ranks for the knights are, but usually I associate the ones with the white armor as being the highest rank. Don't look too far into that. So, alright, so we got the last captain. We just need to deal with the knight. Should be 1 shot to the face. There we go. Alright, so now we're going to take that incineration cannon. Now we can, once we have that, we can just pretty much move forward. There's nothing else that we need here. So all you need is the incineration cannon. Make sure you've got a few grenades on you. And we're going to go ahead and meet the Warden Eternal. But first, we have one more little spot up here. Don't worry, there's no bad guys. But I've noticed that you can actually just ground pound your way to the bottom. I think it's just kind of cool that you can do this. It's a long way down, but it's so far that it actually, the game sort of locks up a little bit. It's weird. I'm not really sure why it does that. Maybe it's just trying to load the next area. So just run up there and Geronimo! Would it be funny if I missed? See, now we're just kind of waiting for the thing to come back. I'm ready anytime. There we go. All right, now let's go meet us a warden.
To serve her.
What was that?
Well, let's go find out. We're sitting ducks here.
Agreed. Move!
Your presence in the Guardian's shelter is undesirable.
Are you the Guardian?
I am Warden Eternal. I stand in service to Cortana.
Cortana?
The other humans are approved for passage. Regretfully,
You are not.
That sounds like a threat.
Vacate his shelter now.
Yep. That was a threat, all right.
Wow, the Warden is a total dick. So I've seen a number of different ways where people try to do this. I've never been able to get any of those to work consistently. Fortunately, I have found a way right here. So basically, you have the Knight's Incineration Cannon from the last part of the mission. Now, notice how the Incineration Cannon has two settings. So the base setting fires just like the regular Forerunner turrets, but if you hold it down like you would the plasma pistol, then it actually has a super shot just like it did in Halo 4. So essentially what you want to do here, I believe it's 5 critical hits that you need to land on the Warden. Now when you charge, one fully charged incineration cannon round should critically hit the Warden each time, even if you hit him from the front. Now my initial strategy for this was to go all the way up to the top right here and essentially hide. And bring your allies with you. And the reason why you want to do that is so that if you get knocked down by any of his allies, any of his minions at all, they can resurrect you. The nice thing about this incineration cannon is it does have splash damage, so even if you don't hit him directly, you can still take him out. So yep, that was our 5th critical hit. We didn't have to go down there and engage him at all. What makes this particular part tough is that you're in such a closed-in area with infinitely respawning minions here. So that's why I like to stay at the top, not take the scatter shot down to the bottom, and try to engage him that way because it's just too unpredictable. He can stomp you, you can do a lot of things. So you don't want to do that, but hopefully this was helpful for you guys. Thank you so much for watching my legendary walkthrough for Halo 5 Guardian. Stay tuned next time when we'll be doing Evacuation. If you like this video, please make sure you comment in the section below and subscribe for more video game related content every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on MythicTyrant.com. And please be sure to follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Links to my social media accounts are in the description below. I will see you right here next time tomorrow, and we'll be doing our giveaway for Halo Wars 2. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'm the Tyrant, signing off.
The Warden said Cortana was calling them to her. She's not here.
Oh, they built him big, didn't they? Figure that's the Guardian?
Can't get much by a buck. Up here! Contact!
Move! Contain! Stay where you are. 117, stand down. Sir, you are absent without leave. This is your one chance to come home peacefully. Blue team, stand down.
I have a job to do.
Cortana's our concern now, sir.
Like hell she is.
how they got in.
Go! Run!
Oh, hell.
I said run!